And now, Lifestyles Unlimited presents the Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Over the next hour, we unfold your map to financial freedom. You'll learn how to retire through investing in single-family and multifamily real estate. You'll learn how to create cash flow and build wealth so you can have the time and money to live the lifestyle you want.
Welcome to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. I'm Mike Harrison, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. I want to thank you for joining me today. I'm going to touch on some darkness on this show for a little bit, but overall, the show is going to be enlightening. I hope you can stick with me for the entirety, but there is something that I want to talk about, and I'm going to get to the ultimate why we invest in real estate. Why do we look to buy our life back, right? We're going to talk all about that why. And yeah, there's going to be, I'm going to touch on something that's kind of dark, but I want to start off by saying, friends, what drives you? What is it that makes you get out of bed each and every day? What is that? I mean, are you eager to take on the day's events? Or are you somebody that sits in the shower each morning for an extended period of time? You should probably only be taking a 5 or 6 minute shower, and you find yourself in there for 30 minutes, right? Because you don't want to confront the day, or you're dreading what the day may have in store for you. Are you that person? Are you feeling burned out, drained, exhausted, defeated? If you're there, and if you've been there, you're going to want to listen to this show in its entirety. I'd like to offer a perspective that maybe many of you have never considered as a real estate investor or even thinking about real estate investing, but it's right there. It's in front of our eyes. I see the passion all the time with people who they wake up, right? And they're like, wow, I didn't know that I could buy my life back. I didn't know I could make money in the sleep. And I was one of those people. Once I kind of got into this and started doing it, one after another, and buying houses and getting that mailbox money coming in, it wakes you up. But I can see it in people's eyes. I see it at case studies all the time. And what's a case study? Well, once a month at our different offices, we hold a case study. And that's where people like you and me, and we get up and we go, hey, here's the 5th house that I purchased, and here's what I paid for it. Here's the before pictures. Here's what we did to make it better. Here's how much that property rented for. Here's how much the principal, the interest, the taxes, and the insurance were. Here's the cash flow that I have after it. Here's the vendors that I use. And people, I mean, you get husband and wife up there. You get families up there. You get single people up there, and they're just awake. They're alive. They're like, wow, I didn't know how easy it was going to be. Here's the people that helped me. Here's how we took a poor property and made it a great property. And they're proud. They're showing the pictures. When you see the before and afters of some of these properties, people are proud. I've done it. I've fixed properties, and I had a father one time that lived next door of 2 very young children, 2 daughters, and I think one was 18 months and one was maybe 3 months old. Literally, this guy with tears in his eyes came over and shook my hand and said, thank you. And I'm thinking, what did I do? And he said, this property that you have fixed up and changed and rehabbed was the party house, right? It was the house that always late at night and was loud, and the music and the beer bottles and the beer cans in the street. And he's like, you bought this property and you fixed it and you made it better. And he was happy because he was worried. He traveled a lot. He was worried that, somebody was going to get all wound up in the middle of the night and maybe accidentally walk in the wrong house or something worse. Maybe some bad actor was going to come along. But people are proud of what we do. We just saw it at Expo. The excitement at our Wealth and Passive Income Expo of people that are attending. They're glad to attend. People look forward to this event. They come from all over the country and they fly in and they spend 3, 4, 5 days with us. And we get to see old friends and visit and, hey, how was your year last year? Well, here's what I did. And I invested in this property and we did this. But mentally, spiritually, the passion. You literally see it. And I will tell you, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle. A few years back, I lost two friends, two buddies, one within a week of the other. These are two guys that they lost their way, and each of them took their own life. Life is a struggle. I think we all understand that, but both of Mike and Lee were dealing with their own inner demons, and both of them had essentially, they decided that today didn't matter, right? And tomorrow wasn't worth fighting for. And it's sad. I remember vividly when we graduated. I remember we all went to the beach in Galveston. Our high school was in League City, wasn't far from the beach. We'd always go to the west side, try to get away from all the tourists. All the tourists go to the east side. We went to the west side. And, back then it wasn't as built up as it is now. Those days, there was hundreds of us there. We were in the prime of our life, loving life, celebrating. We were on top of the world. Really, here's the bottom line. If you don't have a how, right, a how, then you will lose the why, okay? You will lose it. So what do I mean by that? So I touched on a couple of friends that got into a dark place, and they're no longer with us. And I think they reached a point as middle-aged men that they didn't have that how, right? How can I make tomorrow better? How can I succeed? Obviously, they've been caught up in that grinder of trying to get ahead. I was reading something the other day, and literally something like 75% of people in America live paycheck to paycheck. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're one flat tire away from an emergency, right? A financial emergency. And you can get caught up into that. Well, how do I get ahead? I'm doing everything they told me to do. I'm working hard. I'm striving. And if you lose that how, you will soon lose the why. So real estate investing provides a feeling, a serious feeling of accomplishment. It provides that desire for the next win. It's not just freedom. It's not just money. It's not just the lifestyle. There's also that desire for the next win. Hey, I bought that single family property. It was a piece of you-know-what when I bought it, and the windows were kicked out, and the AC was gone, and there was no hot water heater, and there was a hole in the roof, and the fence was falling down, and the grass was waist high. And look at it now. We put granite countertops in, and we, painted the cabinets in the kitchen white, and we put the stainless steel package in, and we put the vinyl wood plank flooring in, and we redid the tile in the bathrooms. Now look at it. Look how beautiful that house is, and you drive by, and it's all painted on the outside. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you get that win, you know what you want? You want the next win. You want tomorrow's win. And when you have the win this year, you want the win next year. Right? That passion. It's the greatest reason. It's the best reason yet why we invest in real estate. Last year, 2022, was the greatest financial earning year of my life. It was. Why? Because of real estate. The money I made last year, and I'm sharing this with you because I'm trying to encourage people that are not investing in real estate to begin their investment path. The money we made last year was 2.5 times better than my greatest W-2 earning year ever. Take however your best year ever, however much you made as a W-2 employee, and multiply that by 2.5. Incredibly exciting. And what do I have to thank for that? It's all real estate, friends. It's all real estate. I'm grateful to my lead investors. I'm grateful to my mentors that showed me how to purchase single-family properties. I'm grateful to the vendors that helped me do so. I'm grateful for the victories, but I'm also excited for the next one, right? I'm excited for the next one. You invest in that multifamily property and you go, yeah, okay, here's the business plan and it's going to cash flow X side, and they're planning maybe to refinance it in year 3 or year 4, and that should return 50 or 60% of the investment, or maybe 100%, or maybe they sell it. And when that happens, we look forward to doing it again. We look forward to the next opportunity, right? I'm excited about the multifamily deals that I funded in 2022. I'm excited about the opportunities that are in front of me today. I'm excited as my passive income grows. I'm excited about what I'm doing today is going to bless me in 2024. What I'm doing in 2023 is going to bless me in 2025. What I'm doing in 2023, 2024, and 2025 is going to bless us the years after that. We're making a decision today to bless ourselves tomorrow. I'm as awake today, friends, and if you missed that first segment, I'm as awake today as I was with my buddies on that beach in Galveston on West Beach right after we graduated high school. I'm as awake today as I was then. And what do I have to thank? I've got Dale Walmsley to thank. I've got Lifestyles Unlimited to thank. I've got real estate investing to thank. I've got the folks that taught me how to do it to thank. And I have passion. I have ultimate passion. Now, think of it like this. Folks out there that are fishing, right? You know, you go fishing and you're excited. What do you remember about those fishing trips? What do you remember most? I've gone offshore fishing numerous times, more times than I can count. We've caught everything: tarpon, dorado, tuna, shark, snapper, you name it. If there's a fish out there, we've caught it. A long time ago, when I was 15, my dad took my two brothers and I to Cabo San Lucas. We hired a captain, rented a boat, and we went marlin fishing. And we were on the ocean for about 6 hours without a bite. I mean, it was hot. No breeze, the waves were rolling in. You know, you start to get that little nauseous feeling in the back of your mind. I mean, there's nothing worse than just sitting out there. You got no bites, and all you have is you hear the engine, and you got the smell of salt spray commingled with diesel exhaust, right? And it's just going on for hours and hours and hours. And then, probably 6-7 hours into it, I mean, literally no bites. Wham! We had a hit, right? And for the next 2 hours, literally, my brothers, my dad, and I were trading off on this reel, and we had a huge marlin, right? It was a striped marlin on the other end, over 300 pounds. And it was just grueling. I mean, you're just sweating, and you're trying to bring the fish in. And, you know, when I look back on that trip, you know, I remember in detail the fight, right? I don't remember much about how the fish looked. Yeah, there's pictures of it. And once we got it in the boat, I don't remember much about that. I don't even remember the trip back when, you know, bringing the fish into the dock. I don't remember any of that. But what I remember is the entire fight the whole time. It's the fight that you remember. It's not necessarily the fish, right? I think we ate it. I don't even remember. Did we eat it? Did we take part of it back? Did we donate it to somebody? I don't remember what happened, but it was that passion of that trip. That's what you remember, the fight and the thrill. My name is Mike Harrison. We'll be right back after a short break.
Got questions? Call Lifestyles Unlimited at 855-497-4335. The Real Estate Investor Radio Show continues next.
What is Dale Walmsley, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, up to in today's market?
I'm out there right now looking and buying everything I can get my hands on for a better deal than what I could get it for a week before. And I'll just keep buying. I did that back in 2008. I bought a property that was worth $35,000 a door. I bought it for $26,000 a door. Next month or so, I bought the same age property, and I bought it for like $19,000 a door. But by buying at 26 when they were getting killed from 35 down to 26, buying at 26, let the broker know I was a buyer in a downward spiraling market. And so from that point on, I bought 3 or 4 more. I can't remember exactly. I think it was 4 more I bought from there. And the brokers were just bringing them to me, go, look, you seem to be the only guy buying right now.
Are you ready to take advantage of the wave of opportunity coming to those who know what they're doing? Join us for the free online workshop at lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
creating the lifestyle you've always wanted. You're hearing Lifestyles Unlimited's Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Mike Harrison. If you'd like to learn more about real estate investing or about Lifestyles Unlimited, please send me an email. My email address is askmike@luinc.com, askmike@luinc.com. Today I'm talking about ultimately what the best reason yet is as a real estate investor. And it's the passion, right? It's the thrill, it's the passion, it's the accomplishment, it's the taking a property that's in bad shape and poorly run and making a clean, functional, great place to live for somebody to call home, to pay you for the opportunity to live there, to rent that property from you. But you're taking the property, and if you don't know any better, like I remember my first house, I remember looking at it and I actually called the realtor back and said, no, I'm not buying it. There's no way I'm buying this. I'm standing right in front of it. And Sam literally said, he goes, Harrison, if you don't buy this house, I've got 20 other people that will. And so I bought it. And then I had a great GC, and the GC literally put his arm around me, metaphorically, and he's like, little buddy, this is going to be fine. Here's what we're going to do. And we fixed everything, and we made it a wonderful place to live. And then you look back on that accomplishment, and you go, wow, that was amazing. That was awesome. Let's do it again. And then you're awake, right? You're alive, and you're just driven to go get the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. And I saw that. I see that in people that I meet all the time. I see it in fellow real estate investors, in fellow Lifestyles Unlimited members. I saw it at Expo. The passion, the excitement, the joy of changing your life, one small little investment at a time. At the peak of my single-family home ownership, right, when I owned the most units, I literally spent a solid 1 to 2 hours a month running that business, okay? And no exaggeration. It was always the third Saturday morning is when I set aside to essentially balance my books, right, to go through and notate the expenses, notate what came in. Yeah, I check it on the first to make sure everything's in and the rent's in and everything's deposited in my account, but I rectified the books that third Saturday of the month. And if I needed to send an email to somebody, I did. And it literally 1 to 2 hours a month. There was no excitement there. None. It was like, it's just going on. You're just managing a business, right? The plane is on autopilot, and you're kind of, making sure all the instruments are reading just right and kicking back, and you're paying attention to it, but you're not actively flying the plane, right? Do you follow me? There's just nothing to it. But let me tell you about the house that I bought that had 9 people, 4 dogs, and 3 cats, and they had snakes, right? They had snake boxes in one of the back rooms. The cats would use the attic. They thought the attic was a litter box, right? They had the garage door down. They used the garage as, I don't know, an open space. There was a sofa and stuff like that in there. It wasn't insulated, which is crazy to me. It's probably as hot as it gets in Texas, but that's how these folks lived, and the cats would go up in the attic. And you know what cats do? It was gross, man. When I bought the house, there was a smell to it. These people didn't know what a lawnmower was, okay? They had no idea. There was trails in the backyard. The grass was so high, but the dogs always ran a path, right? There was kind of an angle path to the back fence and then along the fence line, obviously, and they kind of run that path over and over. And so you had literally trails, right? You got, imagine 3 feet of grass and then like a little dirt trail through there. That's what this house was. I took my wife to it the day we closed, brought her, unlocked the door, brought her in. I was so excited. This is going to be a great one. This is going to be a great property. She ran out of the house within 30 seconds. She's like, oh my God, because the smell was horrific. That was a fun rehab. Taking that property and making it better. And, it was just overgrown. The trees, just everything was bad. And speaking of trees, I bought another property. Let's call it my foundation property, right? I've done foundation work on a lot of these, but this one, I guess the person moved in and just went to sleep because the backyard was a forest of trees, and trees were so close they were rubbing on the brick on the back of the house, okay? They had just grown into the house. We had to dig holes, and I was nervous, but again, I trusted the vendors that I had met through Lifestyles Unlimited. The foundation was horrific. When you're standing in this house, in the master bedroom, right? I'm kind of walking in like, okay, yeah, we're going to buy it. If you're standing in the master bath, the foundation was so bad, you know, your ceiling to the wall is supposed to be a 90-degree angle, right? You know, one's coming in and the other one's coming down. There was a gap in that, and about like a 4-inch gap, and I can see into the attic. That's how bad the foundation was. And you're like, oh my God, I hope this, you know, they said this is going to be fine. I mean, yeah, you get that feeling in the back of your head, but you've done this 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. And so it's exciting to see the process. Somebody that doesn't understand real estate investing, they're like, oh my God, we just spent $40,000, $50,000. We bought this property and, oh dear, is this going to work out? Are we going to be able to lease it? And no, it's going to be fine. But those rehabs, that's exciting. That's what I'm talking about today, is the passion, the accomplishment of taking something and making it better and keeping the cash flow as a result of your endeavors, as a result of making it better. The best reason yet to be a real estate investor is the passion. I cannot tell you enough. If you're feeling burned out, drained, exhausted, defeated, I want you to listen to what I'm saying today, because I'm sharing this perspective on real estate investing that you may have never considered. Maybe you've thought about it and you're like, oh, okay, it's just, you know, it's like investing in a 401k or buying stocks or bonds. No, it's not. It's not. It's totally different. And real estate investing gives us that desire to succeed. The beauty, we know we will succeed. We've got people helping us to succeed. We know that we're effective and that our real estate investment model performs. It's been performing for 30 plus years. It performs through all 4 of the economic cycles, the ups and the downs. It rolls right through it. And I had mentioned I had 2 friends that I played high school football with, and they took their lives. They hung it up. They are 50-year-old middle-aged men, and they were done. That tomorrow had lost its thrill. Today had no meaning. There was nothing worth fighting for. And if you knew these guys when they were young, you would say, why? Why did this happen? And I know I'm looking at it from the outside, and I know I'm being simplistic, but I'm just going to throw something out there. What if my friends had found real estate investing? What if they had created additional passive income in their life? Would they be happier? Would they have been able to, that feeling of success, would that have made a difference? Maybe that they had lost their families along the way too. So maybe that was part of it, that pressure to succeed. And for whatever reason, they're just like, you know what, I'm done. But my thought is, if you had that income, right, could they have then focused on peace, love, joy, health, wealth, happiness? Could they have focused on that if you've got that passive income coming in and month out? I'm constantly thinking about, what will this opportunity bring? Or if I'm looking at an apartment community, a private placement memorandum, let's say, and I'm going through and I'm looking at the analysis and I'm thinking to myself, okay, here's the cash flow. And there's usually there's a very conservative plan. Typically, our leads will put together, and they're very conservative on their approach. But some leads will say, hey, this is my conservative approach, and this is the one that I'm essentially sharing with you. There's a pressure in American society to perform and to provide. And men and women both feel it. As a man, I can't speak for anything but what I know as a middle-aged man. But there is a pressure to perform. And I see it from my viewpoint. I'm not complaining. I feel good when I'm able to provide for my family. I feel good when they're like, you know what, let's not cook. Let's go out to dinner. I feel great when we plan a vacation. There's nothing more fun. And we just spent a couple weeks ago putting together a trip to Crested Butte, and you're kind of planning. Hey, here's where we're going to stay. Oh, we need to order our lift tickets online. And then the kids are trying on the ski clothes, and you're like, okay, well, Emlyn, you outgrew your ski boots. We got to get you new boots. And then she's trying to hit you up for a new ski outfit, and you're like, I don't know. But there's an excitement to that, right? There's a thrill, and there's an excitement to that. And I just want to say, if you're looking for that excitement, if you need that passion, if you desire that drive, then you got to take a look at real estate investing. I can't tell you just how much that feeling is that overcomes. We have a guy that teaches our class, David Fisher. And if you're a member of Lifestyles Unlimited, you know who David is. But this guy, he has done well enough to where he could hang it up right now. He can go, you know what? I bought my last property. I'm done as a real estate investor. But does he do that? No. I mean, he can't help himself. He has these opportunities come across. And the other day he put something on there. He's like, yeah, I bought 2 more properties. I didn't even tell my wife. She's going to be upset when she finds out. And let me tell you about the kind of properties he buys. They are as broken a place as you will ever come across. I mean, they almost look inhabitable, to tell you the truth. Is he doing it for the money? Sure. Yeah, he's wanting to make a return. But I promise you, and he and his son do this together now. And so why are they doing it? It's the passion. It's the drive. It's the feeling of accomplishment. It's like, this place is a real you-know-what. It's a dump. You wouldn't want to live there. And they're fixing the plumbing, and they're putting in new toilets, and they're redoing the bathroom, and they're fixing the floors, and they're fixing the walls and everything. I promise you, there's a passion and a drive there, and it's infectious, and you should see it. You should check it out. I saw it at Expo. I'll share another point with you. If you go to lifestylesunlimited.com and click on the radio button, you're going to have to go back a ways to find this one, but it's from 2021. You may want to write the date down, May 18th, 2021, right? There's a show that Dale Walmsley did, and it's his Tell Dale Tuesday, okay? And the title of the show, again, May 18th, 2021. You can find it on the website. Click on the radio button. The title of the show is Financial Advisor Grows His Net Worth 1,000% in 11 years with rental real estate. I'm telling you, track that show down and listen to it, okay? If you can't find it, I'll send you a link to the show, okay? Send me an email, askmike@luinc.com. But if you're listening to this show, I promise you, and it's much deeper than taking $100,000 and turning it into $1 million. It is much deeper than that. You can hear it in his voice. You'll feel it. Not for the money, for the lifestyle. And I know that sounds cliche because we say it on here all the time, but until you see it, until you witness it, until you hear it, until you feel it, you don't know what we're talking about. But he has a drive to succeed. He has a drive to make something better. He has a drive to provide a better life for he and his partner. There's the will, there's a drive, there's a desire, there's a passion to take on new endeavors, new adventures. I mean, everything to it. And if you think that investing in real estate is like buying a stock or buying a bond or what have you, friends, I can tell you, you're not even in the same zip code as where we are because it is 250% different. But there was something said on that show, and I borrow it all the time. Make a decision today that your future self will thank you for. Think about that. Make a decision today that your future self will thank you for. That comes from a guy, I promise, who has peace in his life. And it's not the money for him. It's not. It's the ability to now concentrate on the other aspects of our life. The peace, the love, the joy, the health, the wealth, and the happiness. That's what makes a well-rounded life. And look no further. If you missed Expo, Wealth and Passive Income Expo.com, you're going to want to make plans for next year because at Expo, I saw it. I felt it. The genuineness of people that I were talking to, were sharing tales with, stories. We're talking about real estate investing. You can feel it. And friends, if you missed Expo, make plans for next year because you're not going to want to miss it. And if you're not investing in real estate, I encourage you with tears in my eyes to take a hard look at it. My name's Mike Harrison. It's not the money, it's the lifestyle.
The information and opinions you hear on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers. The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.